niggas on the yard. 23 and 1 and never see the sun. They been in so long, they never seen their sons. And it's the type of shit that we go through. Living on faith, man, and trying to be hopeful. A lot of dreams buried in the cemetery. The game they playing out here, y'all know it's very scary. I keep my heart cold like October to February. I'm trying to hit on every number like I'm Jerry. Go large or go home. I'm in the zone like I'm 2-3. And I'm playing with an attitude. Timberwolves, KG. I talk slick, nigga know that I'm nasty. And when it's wartime, know that we ain't trying to be classy.
Right now, the DJ Epps and Friends Show. Weeknights at 10 p.m. with live turntable mixes and interviews. It's time to turn up your smart device and crank it loud.
Hey, yo, check this out. This your boy Diddy. As we proceed to give you what you need, we are the world famous, the supreme, grand imperial. Hey, yo, Epps, let these motherfuckers know.
Father God, we first want to take this time to say thank you. Thank you for life. Thank you for love. Thank you for those who are tuned in to this live at this moment. We pray, Lord, that whoever is tuned in right now, that you bless them. Allow them to have an enjoyable time. Allow them to be able to come on here and not worry about problems and not worry about what is going on, but we know that you are taking care of it. At this moment, at this time, allow people to feel loved, to feel peace, and to smile and enjoy. For you said, do not be weary of doing good. So I pray that everybody sows good and reaps good, encouraging one another and looking out for one another. In your holy name we pray. Amen. This is DJ Epps and Friends. Let's go.
DJ Epps.
Yeah! What up, everybody? It's your boy DJ Epps holding it down on a beautiful Tuesday, Celebrity Tuesdays on the #1 DJ show on social media, especially Instagram. So everybody share the live. If you want to buy a badge, go ahead and not stressing that, but definitely share the live. We're going to be having some fun. Shout out to everybody on my Twitch. Everybody also hanging out on my Facebook Live, YouTube Live. It's a great situation today, man, because, you know, not only today, but, you know, all year round, we celebrating that 50 years of hip-hop. You already know. Yes, hip-hop. Yeah, happy birthday. And tonight, yes, no other first female of hip-hop is joining me today on Celebrity Tuesdays. Everybody, man, we're going to have my girl MC SHA ROCK in the building, man. Yes, MC SHA ROCK about to pull up like in a couple of minutes. Matter of fact, in a couple of seconds. But I just got to let you know she's going to be in the building. Also, man, the show, Celebrity Tuesdays, DJ Epps and Friends, is also brought to you by my family over there at Good Positivity Water. You know what I mean? Alkaline water. You need that alkaline water. You heard the news yesterday. I let the news out, man. We are officially going to be in Walmart stores, about 40 stores, Walmart stores. Yes, in March 2024. It's going to be crazy. Positivity water. You need that in your life. You never had alkaline water? Try it. Do me a favor, try it. Alkaline water. Yes, we'll be in Walmart. I mean, we were in Walmart now. Log on to walmart.com, purchase your order, but we are officially going to be in all stores, 40 stores. It's going down March 2024. All right, DJ Epps, everybody share the live. Let me bring my girl SHA ROCK in the building tonight. Share the live. Where my headphones at, man? All right, happy birthday, hip-hop. You already know, and this is my present to you, MC SHA ROCK. SHA!
What up? Could you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, SHA ROCK is in the building. Y'all better tell a friend. I'm on with DJ Epps, the girl SHA ROCK, in the building.
What's going on, beautiful?
You. Listen, it's 50th anniversary of hip hop culture, and I'm here with you. Listen, I'm wearing the shades because after this, I'm going back to bed. You know what I'm saying? But listen, you know, come on, we talking 50th anniversary of hip hop culture. You know, I'm getting old and everything, so I go to bed about a certain time. But I want to make sure that I come on with you, you know, and kick it with your audience. And let's talk some hip hop.
Nah, definitely, man. Thank you for coming by today. I appreciate that. Everybody, you heard her. SHA ROCK in the building, so please share the live. SHA, you know, first things first, man. It was great seeing you this 2 weeks ago at the Rock the Bell Festival.
Yes.
We
Yeah,
did
it was this year.
again.
Listen, sold out.
Yeah,
And it
I
was
mean,
good. The vibes was good. You know, the vibes was good for everybody. And I like that. You know, I'm out of sight, but never really out of mind, you know, out of touch. So when I get to come to New York, of course, you know, I'm from the Bronx.
right,
Born in Wilmington, North Carolina, but I live in Texas. You
right.
know, so every time I get to come to New York, it's always a pleasure to be able to see, you know, icons such as yourself and many people that I don't normally, you know, be able to see. So it's like a family when we all come together.
Man, this summer, it seemed extremely
Ooh.
hot.
Come on now, Florida, are you serious? Listen, I'm back and forth to New York at least about 8 times a year, right? But in Texas, I've been living in Texas for 35 years, right?
The different type
So
of
you
hot.
talk, come on now, y'all complaining? It's been like 3 months, 108, 15 degrees every day. Y'all don't know what y'all talking about. Y'all don't know what hot is until you come to Texas.
Right. And how did it feel to be live on stage this time around, man? Like, you know what I mean? You and the girls.
Yeah.
I saw the girls break this. I'm like, what? Shower
You know what?
broke it
Listen,
down.
let me tell you what it is, Epps. You know, I am the first female MC of hip hop culture. And the thing is that a lot of times people, you know, when they think about SHA ROCK, they think about SHA ROCK from the Funky 4+1, because they know me from my song. You know, I was the first female MC, authentic female MC, to have a record deal back in 1979. So I had my first song that was called Rapping and Rockin' the House, which was the longest running rap songs ever, clocking in at 16 minutes and over until someone beat, you know, the record. And then by 1980, I had signed with Sugar Hill Records, but 81 was when That's the Joint came out. And so when people hear SHA ROCK, the first thing they think about SHA ROCK, the Funky 4+1. But my tenure in hip hop come way before rap records. You know, I am a founding member of the MC culture. You know, started out with, you know, even though, you know, Grandmaster Flash, you know, may have me about a couple of years, but I started out with the 3 MCs, which was Grandmaster Flash's MCs, before they became the Furious 4 and before they became the Furious 5. So for me being on that stage, it comes natural. I mean, it's something that I do because it's like, even though it's been like, what, 40 something years or so since I've been on stage, my thing is that I was born to do that. So it came natural for me to just be on that stage with no pressure. I ain't got to worry about paying no bills. I ain't got to worry about I'm just there for the love of hip hop. For the love of hip hop, for the culture. That's it. I ain't got to worry about nothing when I get off that stage, but doing what I love to do. And that is being an MC and a microphone checker, mic controller, all of that.
And you and your girls, y'all killed the Rock the Boil stage this year. Is there anybody else that you enjoyed watching besides the females? Because the females, y'all killed it. But was there anybody else that you was like, damn, man, it's good to see them on stage again and whatnot?
It's just like a top 5. If anybody asks me who my favorite top 5 MCs or my favorite female MCs, I'm never going to say that. You know why? Because there's too many MCs out there, too many groups out there. There's too many people out there that I'm a fan of. So everybody, I mean, when I seen that list, and you know, we both with Rock the Bells, you know, and so when I seen that list come out, I was like, yo, this is going to be crazy. It's going to be dope. Because for me, you know, even, you know, some of them came after, you know, my era. It's like seeing the ones that, you know, even though I am the first female MC of hip hop culture, it's like I'm inspired by all of these MCs, you know, that was going to be on that stage, you know, at Rock the Bells.
And that weight, being the first MC ever, man, like the first female
You
MC
said weight?
ever. Yeah.
There was no weight.
No way. I'm just saying overall in life, period. Like, you know, like a lot of females, there's a lot of females in this game right now that don't know you, SHA. And they need to Google you and they need to understand who you are. Have you ran into a situation where somebody introduced you, or maybe they had to school that person, or you know what I mean?
Yes. You know, a lot of times, right? Because, you know, I started as a B-girl back in 1976, right? So that was my introduction to the break beats, you know, to, you know, DJ Kool Herc, you know, and Africa Bambaataa, you know, and Disco King Mario. Those were my introductions, you know, by going around, you know, becoming that nomadic B-girl that used to travel all around New York City. Now, when you run into somebody and they be like, okay, well, this is SHA ROCK, this is the first female MC of hip hop culture, I see like, what the hell are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Because they have been told something different. And the reason why they have been told something different is because I come up in the era, from the inception of hip hop culture, laying the groundwork for the MC culture, laying the groundwork for everything that you may see today that a lot of y'all don't know came from MC SHA ROCK. You understand what I'm saying? So for me, when they look at me crazy and like, no, the hell you ain't, I don't get crazy with them because they don't know, because I came up in an era where there was no social media. You know what I'm saying? There was really no videos. There was just records, word of mouth, cassette tapes. Now, when you talk to people all up and down the 95 corridor, and you say like, from New York to Connecticut, or to Washington, D.C., and North Carolina, you may find some people that know because they had access to the cassette tapes, which I became the first female MC to ever be on cassette tapes. Now, y'all may say mixtapes, but it started out with cassette tapes. Right. So this is how hip hop spread, throughout, New York City and all up and down the East Coast through the cassette tapes. So I was the first female MC to ever be on cassette tapes. And with that said, I think, the advantage of some of the MCs, that came after me, the MCs and rappers that came after me, is that they had social media. They had, what can I say? They had a better promotional team, because then you're talking about the 70s, and then you're talking about the 80s coming around, and then you're talking about the 90s. Everything had begun to progress more, until, maybe not so much social media, but the awareness, they were able, even though I went on tour and I was out on tour with social media, it was like a trial and error for everybody, when I started.
Yeah, like before the 90s, there wasn't that guerrilla marketing. What I mean? There wasn't that,
It was, though. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you how guerrilla marketing started. Guerrilla marketing started from the streets of New York. We started guerrilla marketing with little or no resources, flyers, cassette tapes, word of mouth. So you're talking about packing the legendary hip hop venues. And I played in almost 500 hip hop venues, and I have flyers to prove it, to push this culture forward. So the guerrilla marketing started back in the 70s when you didn't have media. You didn't have radio that wouldn't push, our parties or our songs. We didn't have none of that. So in order for guerrilla marketing to happen, you had to be a foot soldier. You had to be on the streets, and you had to pass out those flyers. You had to have people talking about you. You had to say your rhymes as an MC to make that that crowd, or that crowd participation, or that, like the party goers come back to you that next day and pay that $2 and $3 and $4 to get into your party. So we were making money back then, even if we had gotten, like, let's say our parties were maybe making $5,000 a night. Back then, that was a lot of money back then. Because my group, the Funky Four, and I was a part of the original Funky Four, which I started, and Grandmaster Flash and 3 MCs and then the 4 MCs, we were the top groups back there when this all started. So it was either they would go to Grandmaster Flash parties or they would come to our parties. So we was packing the parties where guerrilla marketing was, it started from the streets in the 70s, that hardcore marketing that you had to be a foot soldier.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everybody, if you just chime in, my girl MC SHA ROCK in the building, you know what I mean? A little celebration for hip hop right about now.
Hello, everybody.
Did you ever thought we was going to get to this 50 year?
No, listen, I'm going to tell you right now, I am lucky, and I tell everybody, this, I am so lucky to be able to see the best of both worlds, because I was on the fort, and I remember you saying earlier, it was hard, or it was never hard for me in the beginning, because you got to remember that I come up in the ranks of the Grandmaster Melly Mel's, the Cowboys, we and the Grandmaster Flashes. So we're all on the street together, pushing this culture forward. So for me as a woman, it wasn't about SHA ROCK being a female. That was a plus, but I had to be able to contend with the Melly Mel's back then. So people judge me on my skills, and if it was a pretty face, later on I found out that's what it is, then that's what it was. But people would judge me on me being a prolific MC back then. So when you talk about, whether or not I felt like it would take it this far, what we knew was that we had something special. Why? Because you would have people coming from all over, New York City, all over, from Philly, all over Washington, to Connecticut, that would come to the Bronx to see like what was happening, what was going on in the Bronx at that time. So we knew we had something special. We knew that. But to say that it would be this $1 billion business, no. None of us knew.
Got you. Do you enjoy seeing where the females are at right now, such as the City Girls and Lotto and so on.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something as opposed to any, maybe like old school OG that's out there now. I'm going to always rock with the women. Why? Because for me, I was brought up on the way that I was introduced to so many different artists, so many different genre of music. So I was able to get a take on country music, on listening to Elvis Presley, James Brown, Isaac Hayes, and so with that, I had a love for seeing that nobody else, everybody shouldn't sound alike, everybody shouldn't move in the same way. Right. And so when it comes to women, I think that we as women have a right to say what we want to say, of course, how we want to be able to, live our life the way we want to live. Right. But however you choose to live, that's how you choose to live. My thing is that for me, I always wanted to make sure that I leave a legacy that nobody could take away, that I went outside the lane. You know what I'm saying? The normal lane, where they wouldn't say, well, she sound like this person or she sound like that person. I wanted to create a lane of my own. And I think that a lot of women nowadays are doing that. So I'm always gonna, a lot of times Epps, they will always say to me, okay, so what do you think about hip hop? What is the state of hip hop? When it comes to women? I said, don't ask me what is the state of hip hop. Ask me what is the state of rap music within hip hop culture. Right. Why? Right. Because I come from the era that when people talk about hip hop culture, it's not just the rap element. It's celebrating all aspects of the core elements of hip hop that made hip hop what it is today. Right. So with that said, if you ask me about what do you think about women, women within rap music, within hip hop culture, I'm saying I'm rocking with them. Right. But hip hop is alive because you have all of the elements that people are rocking. Now, whether or not you're celebrating those elements, that's what I have a problem with, because the core elements are the elements that solidify what the culture is. So I'm rocking with all women, and I'm never going to say who's my top five, because there's too many women out there that's rocking for me to single one woman out, and I'm never going to do that because I love them all. Got you. We got the luminary icon SHA ROCK in the building. Do you also have all this type of info, gems on this book that I see you got out, beginning end of the first hip hop female MC? Yes, you talking about. Yeah, I put out a book that was called Luminary Icon back in 2010, and the reason why I did that, and like you said, a lot of even to this day, Epps, and it's so crazy though, because I'm not tripping. But with social media, my stuff is out there. It's out there. But a lot of times people don't take the chance to really go back and research. So a lot of young girls or women don't know about SHA ROCK. They don't know that SHA ROCK set it off for every female. I'm the first female MC to ever have rap battles. I started the rap battles with Grandmaster Flash, the Furious 3, and the Furious. We created the MC rap battles. You understand what I'm saying? But you wouldn't know that unless you go and do your research, because I have the flyers. I have the cassette tapes to prove it. You understand what I'm saying? So when you talk about that book, all of the things that I'm talking about, in that book, it's like truth to dare. Because it's like if I'm telling you something, my word is bond. I can back it up. I'm not just saying, okay, this is what it is. This is who I am. I can back up anything I'm saying. I was the first female MC to introduce the new era of rhyming. Along with Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 3, the Furious 4, and the Furious 5. I ushered in the back and forth. Like when you see MCs or you see like Method Man and all of them going back and forth, I'm a part of a group that ushered in that style of rhyming. I'm the part of the group that ushered in the cadence, the harmonizing, all of that stuff. All of that stuff as a female MC came from SHA ROCK. So when you hear DMC, right, and you hear DMC talking about, okay, when I hear SHA ROCK on the echo chamber, and some people or your audience may not have heard that. But DMC, from Run DMC, they'll say, I was influenced by MC SHA ROCK because when I heard her use the echo chamber, I wanted Jam Master Jay to make me sound like SHA ROCK on that echo chamber. So when they did their album and they used echo chamber, that's what you hear. You hear a reference of how I being the first female MC to ever use the echo chamber. I'm the first female MC that had a security crew, a hype crew. So even before you had Flavor Flav on stage with Chuck D as a hype man, I had a all females hype crew that would say my rhymes, right? And they would go into the crowd and they'll get the crowd to say my rhymes. And this is how SHA ROCK was so synonymous in New York City, because everybody knew my rhymes from my hype crew going into the crowd and getting them to say my rhymes. I also was the first female MC to have an all-female security crew. So whenever I travel around New York City or all up and down the 95 corridor, this is what they did. They protected me when I was out there.
Right.
I was the first female MC to ever, and I say this, ever play in the Audubon Ballroom, which is where Malcolm X got assassinated at. I'm the first female MC to ever be on 500 authentic hip hop flyers. Played in more venues than probably a lot of other men or female if they wasn't not a part of my group.
Right.
And these are flyers that I have. You understand? And SHA ROCK, so many things that I could say right now. It's like I'm going through being like the first female to do this, the first female to do this. But
you gotta let them know. You gotta let them know, because I got a lot of young cats who are watching me as well. So you know, I give them this present. I give them, you know, to see who's with me and do your homework. You know what I mean?
So check this out. So for all of y'all that's listening right now, I ran into Jazzo, mentor to Jay-Z, over the weekend. You know, as a matter of fact, on a hip hop day, August 11th, I ran into them in the Bronx.
Wow.
And I ran into Easy Mo B, right? And so I posted something on the Instagram because I didn't know that Jazzo know who I was. You understand? And if y'all go to Instagram and y'all go to my page, I just got on Instagram, y'all, probably like about 2 years ago. So I wasn't on yet as much, but I began to start getting on there. So I posted a video where Jazzo say, listen, SHA ROCK, this is something that I always wanted to do. He recited my rhyme for one of my songs, right? He recited it. And I'm like, wow, this is crazy. You know, somebody, a legend like Jazzo, that can go back and recite a song of SHA ROCK, meaning that not only did I influence a lot of females, but also men as well. Right. And DMC was the first one to come out and say I was influenced by SHA ROCK. Then you had Fat Joe come out, but SHA ROCK was better than 90% of the men that was out there. And for me, that was a gift and a curse. Because when he said that, all the men, like, you know, whatever, nobody started talking about SHA ROCK no more. Nobody started doing it, because it's like, to say that you were better than a lot of the men out there, it's like, that was a gift. That was a gift for a curse, you know, at the time. And I'm talking about, you know, in my era. So my thing is that, no, a lot of people don't know, but a lot of things that you see within the MC culture, I started the MC culture. I'm the first female MC that started the MC rap culture.
Right. And I'm glad to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Yo, SHA. Now, you know, your legacy is there. Like, we can't ignore it. We can't deny it. It is there. Now we're here in 2023,
and I'm still sharing my story, Epps. People still really don't know.
You got to. And this is something that, and I want you to help me out with this. This is something that Uncle Luke is trying to say and wants to do.
I'm with that.
You know what I mean? I know you see it. I know you see he's not really happy at how we're celebrating, you know, hip hop, but the South, Miami or Florida is not really getting the proper look that we supposed to get. And Snoop jumped in saying, cuz we need to do Southwest.
So check this out. So just today, now, you know, me and you both rocking with Rock the Bells. I'm on every day, guys. Every day, Monday through Friday, 10 to 1, except for Wednesday when we allow Bun B to have an hour of our time. So we did that story today on Uncle Luke, right? And I said, for me, when I also say that I have, you know, I'm happy to be here, not only to see what's going on now, but I had the best of both worlds in so many ways, right? Because if I tell you about 35 years I've been living down here in Texas, as opposed to Jay-Z, you know, wind up hearing about, you know, UGK, you know, putting them on their song or whatever. I had experienced the Texas movement and the Miami movement and the Atlanta movement before, like, a lot of the East Coast. So I had firsthand knowledge of how this was moving. So with that said, I had much respect, because I remember one time when Kaz and I interviewed Cujo Goody, and he was like, you know, New York really didn't respect.
By the way, Cujo is in the building. I see you, Cujo.
That's my dude. That's my dude.
Family in the building.
shout out to FF merch. I wore his joint when me and KRS-One did we did a live simply, to talk about some things. That's my dude.
Right.
And I talked to Cujo Goody, right? And he was saying how New York didn't really respect them at the time. But that wasn't everybody in New York City. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Because
right.
for people that really understood, that the South was bringing something to the different, that bringing something to the movement. And me being the MC that I am, and my parents and household have taught me to respect and be able to engage other people's, entities and how they're coming out. I had a lot of respect for the South. Why? Because they was bringing something different to the table. And then when I got married and moved to Texas, it just furthered it again along with Texas.
Right.
And I say to Uncle Luke, and this is why I'm riding with him, because Uncle Luke, before he brought anybody from New York City down, he brought the Funky 4+1 down, my group down back in 1981. So he was aware of the North, but we were also aware of Uncle Luke of the South before he
Right.
really even took off.
Right.
So I get what he's saying. But what Kaz and I said to him and to the South, because and I don't know if you know, I was very upset besides them not inviting me to Yankee Stadium, because I was told that I was going to be a part of it, and then they reneged on it. So that was wrong. But let me go back. So with that said, Kaz and I said, listen, you can't allow no one to dictate how you move. For whatever reasons, they didn't have, the Goody Mob, or they didn't have Uncle Luke on these festivals that's going up. You don't need nobody to dictate how you move, because if you allow a person to dictate how you move, then you're going to be stuck. So you give your own shit. Give your own shit, and you say, look, Florida is big enough to put a whole conglomerate of artists together where y'all don't need nobody to tell y'all or invite y'all to those festivals or whatever, because y'all have y'all have the resources to do it, just like Atlanta. This is what I think JD is trying to do for Atlanta, do a concert for Atlanta as well. If they not inviting you, do your own shit.
Right.
Don't let nobody dictate how you move. So I'm rocking with Uncle Luke. I'm rocking with him. I'm rocking with everybody that feel that they have been left out, just like SHA ROCK.
Yo,
So
that's how I
say.
feel. That's how I was telling my boy that the other day, man. Like, when it comes to the DJ world, like, DJs need to learn how to not depend on promoters. Do your own parties.
You got
do
to.
your own show.
You got to.
Yeah.
I
totally feel you on that. So, you rock the bells.
Shout out to LL Cool J, did his thing.
Listen, man, listen. He is not only did he do his thing, man. The fact that he's just doing it for the culture and keeping it alive and give us.
See, I fucks with LL. And he knows it. And the reason why I do that is because I rep hip hop culture to the fullest, all elements. That's what I'm out. Before MC, I'm a B girl. So I rep all the elements of hip hop culture. And when somebody tells me that they rep hip hop culture, and LL wants to be able to bring that essence together, where you have, like the beginning, and then he'll bring the middle, and then he'll bring, other people, to join in. I say, kudos to you,
right.
Because then I see how you move. But if you don't respect, the elements of the culture, and you don't respect, like a lot of people, like we have like Cujo Goody, on here, you don't respect the different eras. I think a lot of times you have to be able to bring different people in different eras together, because this is how you bridge the gap. This is how you allow people to say, okay, well, this is where it started. So you get a different crowd, and this is how it happened. This is where it is now. And you allow people to respect others people's artistry. And that's what LL, is doing, especially with the Force 2 as well.
No, let's make it clear. LL's the only one doing that.
Oh yeah. Say that shit again.
LL Cool J is the only one that's doing that for hip hop.
Absolutely. I have zero tolerance, and a lot of times, Epps, my thing is that I'm just like straight up, right? And so when we talk about the culture and we talk about this, I have zero tolerance for bullshit. But when I see you coming sideways, and then you say some dumbass shit to me that's not right, I'm going to come back on you. And the first thing a person want to say is, she's rude. Just like what happened with that second festival,
Right.
because I called them out on a bullshit. Then I'm all of a sudden I'm rude. No, it's disrespect.
Right.
So when you respect the culture and you respect the people that's in it, no, it's not even all about, you know, who started it. You know what I'm saying? It's not all about, you know, well, we started it. You know, a lot of times they say from, you know, like the pioneers or, you know, the OGs, you know, a lot of times they want to say that we disgruntled, but it's not about being disgruntled for me. It's not about being resentful. It's about being respectful. So
Right.
when I see you coming sideways, then I'm going to say what the fuck I need to say to let you know I see how you moving.
Right.
So if you think I'm rude, then I don't give a fuck, because I'm going to always represent hip hop culture to the fullest. And this is why I rock with the South. This is why I rock with the West Coast. This is why I rock with the Midwest or whatever, because I respect their artistry and I respect everything. I respect everything that they did or they doing to solidify and keep this culture moving. That's what I respect.
I didn't know that, you know, you probably not the only one that felt that way that weekend. Let me ask you something.
Then I felt what?
About how you feel about the other concerts that was happening that weekend.
But you don't know what happened to me, though. You don't know the conversations that I had with them.
Yeah, it just went left, but on their part.
Well, one of the persons lied to me. He
Okay.
said, SHA ROCK, you was always going to, because okay, so on August 1st, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you got, you know, one of the exclusive on August 1st, one of the owners said to me, I said, okay, so how are you going to have, you know, a Queen set, and you come into the Bronx, and I help build this culture from scratch, the
Right.
first female MC, but you don't invite me to be a part of it. What they said was, because you was on Rock the Bells, we couldn't put you on a flyer. We couldn't allow you to be a part of it because you was on Rock the Bells. I said, hold up, wait a minute. You got half near the goddamn whole motherfucking list that's on Rock the Bells, that's on this one as well. Yeah. So when you talk to me correct, and talk to me like I got some motherfucking sense, because don't do me like that. So they was like, okay, you was always going to be involved, but we just couldn't do it right now. So we're going to call you within 48 hours. We're going to let you know what's going on. I said, okay. So a day, 2 days before, I say, look, what's up? What's going on? You know, I want to know what's going on, you know, with SHA ROCK. So the guy said, what's your number? I gave him my telephone number, because we're going back and forth with emails, right?
Right.
And I gave him my telephone number. And then once I gave my telephone number, he called. There's a lot of things going on with the last 48 hours. Because my thing was to him is that it's like, how do you come to the Bronx and you don't have people like, you know, Fat Joe, you don't have people like, you know, you have those synonymous songs, you know, like, you know, the South Bronx, you know, whatever. You don't have those songs, you know, that solidifies the Bronx. You don't have a lot of participation in the Bronx. You don't even have a section on there where you can have like certain pioneers have their own section where they don't have to come to pay in, you know, have to pay to get in. You don't have nothing, you know, representing the culture of hip hop for the pioneers that started it. And so a lot of them that was on there already was not even going to be on there. You know what I'm saying? Until someone spoke up that was on that list, said, if you're not going to have some of the pioneers that's on there, then we're not going to be a part of this. So that's why they put some pioneers on it. So the guy told me in the last 48 hours, he said, a lot of things happening in the last 48 hours. We're not going to put you on there, but I could try and see if I could get you tickets. I say, fuck your tickets. I don't need your tickets. Because if you trying to tell me that SHA ROCK don't matter, that shit hurt my heart, Epps. That shit hurt my heart. I want to fuck his ass up. You know what I'm saying? Because
you should feel like that. You should feel like that.
You know what he told me? You know what he told me? He said, and this is good content. I'm giving you good content.
I'm getting exclusive, y'all. I'm getting the exclusive, y'all.
He told me that don't worry about it. You'll be celebrated in the Universal Hip Hop Museum. They'll put your pictures up there. That's how you'll be celebrated. I said, this motherfucker. And that shit hurt me. That shit hurt me to my core, because it was like, you're trying to say that I helped build this culture from scratch and I don't matter? I don't matter? So I was like, fuck you. Fuck you and your tickets. I'm not coming. And the only reason why you see me on the stage with Grandmaster Cass, because Grandmaster Cass called me and say, Sean, are you coming? I say, no, I'm going back to my DJ Breakhouse house and we're going to cook out there. And I'm going to go to some other events, you know, where I will celebrate it instead of tolerate it. So he said, no, what I want you to do is come on stage. We're going to rep you for the queen that you are. So just take that motherfucking chair and go sit out there in the middle of the stage. And that's what the fuck I did while the Cold Crush performed. And say, listen, I'm here, bitches. I'm here, bitches. You didn't have me here, but I'm here on this stage.
You know, it's unfortunate that we have, some are gatekeepers and some are just,
Wait, let's shout out Dawn Anderson. She say that's some bullshit. You goddamn right, Dawn.
Dawn, what up, man? Hey, yo, it is some bullshit, and it's whack that we gotta still go through that as pioneers, as legendary, individuals and whatnot. I didn't see these concerts last summer. Why all of a sudden LL's getting this competition in New York? Were they there last year? Outside, I may be wrong. I may be wrong, but outside looking in, it looks like once we did Rock the Bells last year, all of a sudden this year, there's a concert in Brooklyn, there's a concert in the Bronx.
Let me tell you this. I sit back and observe, right? So what happened really is that a lot of times when you create something, right? People feed off of it. And what happened is that this shit really didn't happen like overnight. A lot of times they were planning the 50th anniversary of hip hop culture. People were planning. They were scheming. They were planning months ahead of time. You understand what I'm saying?
Out of all weekends?
What you mean?
I mean, like out of all weekends, you pick, out of the year?
No, I'm saying they was planning to capitalize off on August the 11th, the anniversary of hip hop culture.
Right. Okay, gotcha.
So they were planning to do that. They know LL was going to come back. Now, LL didn't do, he didn't do the celebration on August 11th, but this is something but this is something that he did like the week before. But you had a lot of people that they knew he was going to have the concert. That's not what I'm saying. But a lot of people were trying to figure out in advance how to capitalize off of this anniversary of hip hop culture. And this is why you're seeing a lot of, concerts, but shout out to LL that, who's really, spearheaded and leading like this hip hop, concert as well. And I also got to send a shout out to Charlie Mack from Philadelphia as well, but LL took it to a whole nother level. So, listen, it's what it is. And what it is.
Only one thing I didn't like about Rock the Bells this year
was what?
And I waited all year round thinking it was gonna happen, but it didn't. Our boy Bun B didn't show up. I was really looking forward to that.
But listen, so you was down in Miami, right?
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I seen Bun B in Miami because we did something together down with energy drink, right? And it should be out soon. And you was there, right? So it should be out soon, right?
Yeah.
So what happened was I was like, yo, Bun, you bring in the Trill Burgers to Rock the Bells this year? He said, nah, man, it's a lot, to put together, but he was going to be in other places. And you should have seen everybody's faces in there. Everybody like, what the fuck? So he said, so you mean I can't come nowhere without bringing, I can't even be in the building unless I got a Trill Burger? And if people, listen, if nobody has ever had a chance to eat those Trill Burgers, let me tell you something, Epps. When I first got one last year at the Rock the Bells Fest, I almost bit my fucking fingers off because that shit was so good. But I didn't want to wait online to get another one, right? Because, he let us go first, got him for free. But then he had to make sure that he take care of his people. But since I'm in Texas, he told me, he said, look, you come down to Houston, you could do the Rock the Bells show live from Houston at the Trill Burger. So I think I'm going to do that. But he don't know I'm going to be eating half the shit while I'm there.
Listen,
what I'm saying?
When I got no other choice but to go to Texas now to go get that.
Yes,
so
man.
I'm gonna need you to. I'm gonna need a little escort. I'm gonna need you to show me around.
We're gonna have to go out there together, man. We're gonna have to go out there together. Respect. But yo, if you haven't had a chance to have the Trill Burger, you got to, man. That burger is rated the #1 burger in America. And shout out to Bun B for coming up with the idea. I've been trying to look at the recipe and shit.
My best to try. I was like, oh, I can't wait to get
you
there.
Haven't had one?
I haven't had one. And when I got to the Rock the Bell Festival and I heard he wasn't there, I got pissed. I'm like, man,
I could have told you that.
Let me go backstage and go eat this food.
Oh, you ate the backstage food.
Yeah, I had to sell, man. I had to, you know what I mean? I did whatever. I was pissed though.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. That's crazy. But shout out, shout out to everybody, and like I said, I'm riding with, looking at, and everything that he has said in reference to the South. But what I say to him and everybody else that feel that they have been left out, man, you got to do you. You got to do you. Because if you wait for people to bring you up, sometimes that shit is just not going to happen because they have another agenda. You know what I mean?
Right. Man, when I'm seeing all of this go down, like I'm just fantasizing, like, how can I get Luke and LL and Snoop all together to just make something happen for the South?
Well, hit him up. You know what? You hit him. You say,
hit him
I
already did. I already made some phone calls. I called some big promoters.
LL is a businessman. LL is a businessman. And don't get it fucked up. Don't get it fucked up for anybody that's out there. LL is also an MC, and he's a competitive MC.
Right.
So you may not see it on the outside, but LL will always be that competitive MC. Right. So if he's a businessman, but if you ever come to him with something like that and say, okay, this is what I want to do, I know he's about the culture. So even like with the Force tour, he may flip it up and do something else, and that probably would be good because LL will know. I know he has aligned himself with Live Nation now.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what y'all should be able to kick, to him, the South, to say, fuck it, I need to be there. This is what we need to happen. And y'all have a central location where you have Atlanta, you have the South, you have motherfucking Texas, the Carolinas come together, and that motherfucker will be crazy to say the South got something to say. Take it back to Outkast and whatever it is, and that should be what it is. You know what I mean?
I think Cujo there, he excited.
Cujo, what
up?
He's
like, yeah, make it happen.
That shit happen. Because you know what?
Man.
I tell you, Epps, it's crazy when you have so many legendary, MCs out there, that we all respect, and to have them in one fucking building. Come on now. Yeah. I'll fucking fly with it. I don't even like flying like that. You know what I'm saying? But I do. That should be pissing me off. But I will, whatever, it needs to be a centrally located place where everybody could get together and just say, well, okay, it's not just about Miami, or it's not just about Texas, or it's not just about Atlanta. It's about the motherfucking South.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that shit will be off the chain.
And thank you, LL, because you gave Bun B a show. You gave SHA ROCK Grand Kaz a show. And you gave me a show.
Yes.
How did that conversation come about with you and Kaz having your own show?
So check this out, right? So I don't know if LL's seen it, but I was doing like a little podcast, every I think Wednesday or Thursday I would do a little podcast on Facebook, right? So I'll go to the MCs and I'll go to them and talk about the culture. Now, see, I'm very enlightened in the culture from its beginning. Ain't nobody could tell me shit about the beginning and how this shit started. So if a motherfucker start lying, I'm going to shut their ass down because I was there from day one, right? So I don't know if he was seeing that. But one day on Instagram, right? No, so let's go back. When LL first opened up Rock the Bells, I was invited to come out to Cali, right? Along with a lot of other MCs and DJs because he was launching Rock the Bells. But I wasn't able to make it at that time because my mom was sick. So I was like, well, fuck it. I can't come out there. So can we, I want a radio show.
Right.
But I told the girl at the time that whoever was his assistant, that I wanted a radio show. Now, whether or not she gave him the information, I don't know. So 2 years went by, right? That he had been on the radio. And so LL hit me up on Instagram. So he said, look, I want to talk to you. So I said, okay. He said, what's your number? So I gave him my number. He called me right then and there. He said, I want you to be on the radio show. I said, really? I said, I asked you that shit 2 years ago. What the fuck happened? He said, nah. He said, Sha, it's time. I want you to be. He said, I don't know how we're going to do it. I don't know how, whatever, we have Roxanne Shante, and let's shout out Roxanne Shante because she was holding that radio show down for a long time before Kaz and I came. So I have to give her the respect because she held Rock the Bells down. And so once he say, okay, I need to figure it out. So the next day he called me, he said, if I give you the show, what hours would you want? I said, I'm an early bird. Give me a morning show. He said, would 10 to 1 work for you? I said, hell yeah. He said, what would you call the show? Off the bat, I said, that's the joint. He said, I like it. So within another week or so, Jay Hudson, which is, the program director, one of LL right hand man, well, he said, Shaw, LL wants to know, how do you feel about Grandmaster Caz co-hosting with you? I was like, yo, it's crazy because Funky Four plus one, Cold Crush. We were competitive back then when the Cold Crush came out.
Right.
But the thing is that he knew his history just like I knew. He knew the history of hip hop just like I did. So I thought that it was a very good mix for us to be together, because what he didn't know, I'ma say, and what I don't know, he gonna say, and we're gonna rock out on each other. So once they did that, right, that was like back in LL came to me like back in June, and by the end of August we had our first show on Rock the Bell. So this August it would be 2 years that we were on the radio.
Yeah.
Yes.
This past April made it 2 years for me.
Damn.
I think.
Okay.
Yeah, it went by quick, but
I
at
thought
the
it
same
was
time,
longer.
nah, man, I'm fresh. I'm still young, Sha. You know what I mean? Don't get it twisted. But my library, my history, you know what I mean? I come from the 80s. I'm an 80s baby.
So how did it happen for you with LL?
Okay. One, it happened in the pandemic. You know what I mean? After D-Nights, I learned how to really create this show that you see you on right now since the pandemic till this day. So, Prince Marky D, rest in peace, my brother.
Word.
The minute before he passed away, he had told LL, listen, if you're looking for a DJ to be part of Rock the Bells, you need to grab Epps, especially if you want a DJ from the South. So when he did the first All Day City Miami, he offered me to do, my own show, and I did it. And the next day he called me, and he just like, man, that was phenomenal. He used the exact word, phenomenal.
Yes.
Mix. And I really loved how you really DJ'd and rocked the mic and do your own show, and you did it, Kid Capri style. You know what I mean?
Oh.
And
that's what he wanted. He's very funny about his show.
Yeah. And next day, sure enough, he said, same thing with you. He called me. He was like, yo, I want to give you a contract. I'm like, a contract?
Yeah.
He's like, and I'm getting goosebumps talking about it. But yeah, he said that. And same thing. He's like, what do you think about, you're Miami, you're Caribbean, you're getting everybody ready for the club on the weekend, Saturday night ride. I'm like, I love it. Let me take it. Let me run with it.
Let's take it to another level. Because what it does is that it brings a whole different type of audience to Rock the Bells. You know what I'm saying? And that's what LL does. He's very strategic in the way that he operates. And, a lot of things, everything has to go through him, because he has this vision of how he wants Rock the Bells to be. And so I can respect him for him. There's nothing that any of us could do that won't go through him first, because he has this standard that, he wants to be able to live by. But I want to ask you this, being down there in Miami, was it hard for you, against, other DJs that was down there? Well, what was your breakthrough, when it came to you being DJ Epps? Did you have child? Because that sometimes the DJ culture could be cutthroat. So
it's very cutthroat. But I'm originally from Harlem. Right, so
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm originally from Harlem, Spanish Harlem, and moving down to Miami with my mom, I noticed there was it was wide open. There was no DJs really, making a mark for themselves, except for DJ Uncle Al, rest in peace and happy birthday, by the way.
Right.
He had the hood on lock. But there was no really a DJ on South Beach doing his own hip hop party and making sure that hip hop had a
voice.
Mark. Yeah, a voice and a mark in Miami, Florida, on South Beach. So they labeled me the first hip hop DJ to bring mainstream hip hop on South Beach. So once I started doing that, back in the days we would have the Mix Show Power Summits, the How Can I Be Downs, and and all these promoters and Peter Thomas and Enough.
Right.
Everybody, they would come to my party.
Really?
So I would be the first DJ to bring, the Beatnuts, Wu-Tang, Eminem, whoever to my parties at, on South Beach. So that's how that kind of happened. And then my brand started just growing to a point where, I would have Biggie Smalls in my DJ booth. I would have Boot Camp in my DJ booth. I would learn how to bring Kid Capri to Miami or Red Alert and so on. And Miami enjoyed me doing that for them. and they made me a household name. And, you know, after that,
Wow.
working
That's
with radio
deep.
stations, yeah, you know, and all of that. So right now, 2003, moving forward, it's mind-blowing that LL, he helps keep my legacy alive.
Understood. Understood. I feel
You
the
know what
same
I
way too.
mean? And I get to feed my family, and
Yeah.
it's mind-blowing, and I thank him all day, because, you know, us DJs, that's all we want. We want that one rapper to take us underneath the ring.
And he
And
did that. He did that. LL, you know, he's the type of person, right? You know, if people having that, and like I said, you know, I don't give. We on a radio station. I don't be like, you know, oh, I want this, I want this, one. I give him his space. He put me, you know, on this radio station to do a job. But I'm also an observant, and so he's the type of dude that if he's going to tell you something, his word is bond. If he ain't gonna do it, he ain't gonna fuck with you. He ain't gonna answer no phone calls. He ain't gonna do shit. He ain't gonna do it. If he don't want to do it, he ain't gonna fuck with you. But if he tells you something, his word is bond, and he's gonna live by it. And that's why I respect him, you know, as a man, not just because we're on a radio station, you know, or you know, he's providing an extra income for us to be able to, you know, like you say, feed our families. But one of the things that he did say, and which I knew already, you know, he just reconfirmed. He said, okay, I'm gonna put you on this station. He said, but it's up to you to take it to the level that you need to take it to. You understand? I said, oh, motherfucker, you shouldn't tell me that. Because if a motherfucker do me wrong, I'm going to talk about his ass, you know, with respect. You know what I'm saying? But tell shit how the fucking shit happened. Because if I don't tell it, they're going to switch the story and say that I'm the bad motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, you should have never told me that. He said, yo, be yourself. You know, be yourself. And of course, you know, we on the radio, there's certain things you can say and you can't say because we represent Rock the Bells and they have a brand. But by all means necessary, he say, yo, take it to whatever level that you need to, you know, but that's on you. So if you don't go to that next level, you fuck the fuck up. You know what I mean?
He told me the same thing, and I brand myself the #1 mix show weekend in the world, and to have,
you're supposed to.
And to have, and I tell this to everybody, to have a PD or your boss or LL to not call you all 2 years round, like, that means you're doing a hell of a job.
You're doing something good. You know,
Yeah.
every now and then, I gotta say, they'll critique, you know, okay, we need to do this better, we need to do that. And it's good, it's corrective criticism, you know what I'm saying? And so we're all for it, because anything, we're like representing the brand. So anytime that, you know, they have a brand, you know, they're going to do what they got to do to make sure that the brand stays solidified and it stays solid. You know, so we all for it. You know, this is something that we do, something that we love. And I'm glad that you didn't have to have those trials and tribulations, you know, as I did, you know, growing up in the culture, you know, in the 70s.
No, Sha, don't get it twisted. I am DJ Epps. I'm the hottest DJ from Florida, the legendary.
Say that shit.
But listen, this past weekend I went through some bullshit.
They're going to take it from you. They're going to take it away from, they're going to try to take it away from you.
Nah, nobody ain't going to take nothing away from you. I'm still here to this day. Nobody ain't. They try to do it this weekend, Sha.
Oh, so they try to take it away
do it this weekend.
But you got to claim your shit, man.
We had to fix that.
How you claim it? What happened?
The legal way. You know what I mean? The respectful way.
Yeah.
and I had to let them know, don't ever do that fuck shit again.
You got to. You got to. You got to.
Because this hip hop game is cutthroat and so on, but I ain't gonna get into that negativity. And it's past your bedtime, lady. Come on.
Listen. But shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody. But listen, let me tell you this. Yes, it's past my bedtime, but when I'm engaged in talking about hip hop, I can go on and on and on and on. You don't even have the time how SHA ROCK could go on. But I want to send a shout out to all of your listeners, you know, everybody that's tuned in, you know, to this show, you know, your Celebrity Tuesday. Yes. And just tell a friend about SHA ROCK. You know, being the first female of hip hop culture, there's no cap. You know, all the shit that you see doing today, I did it. You know what I'm saying? And I led the way for both male and the female MCs, you know, respectfully, you know, that's what I did.
And one more time, let them know what time you on Rock the Bells.
I'm on Rock the Bells 10 to 1 every day, except for Wednesday, when we get off at 12 o'clock and make room for Bun B. You know, shout out to the South, shout out to the North, shout out to everybody that represents this culture to the fullest.
There you go. Everybody. Man, thank you for popping up on Celebrity Tuesdays. Next week we got Tony Neal from Core DJs. He's gonna be in the building with me. This is my girl SHA ROCK.
So we
check it out.
We family.
It's family right here, and I'm coming to Texas soon, so we could.
So we need drive down and get some burgers together. You let me know
Damn
when you
right.
hit Texas, and we're gonna
That-
probably do a live
there
or
you
something
go.
from Bumby.
There you
Bumby
go.
say, just let me know when you get here so I could be here. So when you ready to come down, we're gonna head to Houston to fuck them damn
There you
Trill
go.
burgers up.
There you go.
Bye guys.
Everybody.
Bye
Sha
ladies.
Rock.
See y'all later.
Rock the bells, first lady of hip hop. Thank you, Sha. You have a good
Peace.
night, and God bless you and the family. All right.
Thank you. Bye guys. See y'all later. Good night.
Good night. You already
Good night.
know. All right, Celebrity Tuesdays. Once again, man, the show is brought to you by Positivity Water. Yeah, if you see the alkaline water, please pick it up, or you can order it on Walmart.com. We are officially going to be in Walmart stores, 40 stores, March 2024. So thank you for everybody that's supporting Positivity Water, alkaline water. Thank you, my guy David Walker. Shout my brother DJ Envy, the whole entire Breakfast Club, and so on. All right, guys, time for me to go. I hope you had a great time with SHA ROCK. We want to thank SHA ROCK, MC SHA ROCK, for coming by the show today. Big shout to City the Great in the building, Byron, Hip Hop Yogi Bear. I see you guys going back and forth. Yeah, both absolutely right. You know what I mean? And everybody else, you know what I mean? Thank you for rocking with DJ Epps. And, you know, once again, I'll be tomorrow on the turntables. We're going to have a show. We're going to play some music. So get your Bluetooth, everything ready so we can blast it loud, have a little, you know, drink, smoke, and just play some music tomorrow. I got some new music too on deck. All right. Everybody have a good night. Love y'all. Peace out. Once again, thank you, MC SHA ROCK, and happy birthday, hip hop 50th. Coming from your boy DJ Epps. You hear me? Peace.